Everybody. Welcome to the Gadsden State Softball Show with Coach Ryan Clark. I'm the Highway Channel along with the new and improved looking QB1, Les
Hey,
Hare.
let's Harry. I'm glad you finally showed up, Howie.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I went back and watched the show from the last time, and y'all said that my Falcons wouldn't win, and they did win, but they ain't won since. But anyway, that's the way the NFL is. Anyway, Coach
Yes.
Ryan Clark, thanks for joining us. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit before we went live and everything. This is your last week. Tell us a little bit about that. Are you looking forward for this last week coming about? And give us a little bit of details.
yeah. So we're actually coming off of a 4-day break. We played Jack State last Thursday. Um, and we've had some that came and got cuts on Friday and cuts on today, but we've been on a 4-day break. We're going to start back up with practice tomorrow. Go full speed for 3 days. Get an individual day in there as well, and then go right into playing shorter on Saturday.
And just for the, we'll go on. We'll have a couple weeks from now. We'll have maybe a close to the fall, take a week or two off, and come back in January when your school year resumes, and that way we'll kind of give Coach a break from it too. But Coach, at least let's get one more into November and kind of sum up the fall, and if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Be great.
And then you can have a few weeks off of me and Howie and Cheney.
Oh,
I get a few weeks off from me.
coach is fired up. He wants to do it every week instead of every 2 weeks.
Yep,
Hey,
twice a week.
He likes his publicity.
before we go too far, Coach, I got the Game Changer app that you suggested. Anybody that wants to follow Gadsden State softball, even if you're not paying the membership fee, there is you can see every pitch. I watched the whole Kennesaw State game live, and it is a way that you can stay in contact with the team.
Yeah, for sure. And even you can go back in and check scores and all that good stuff as well on top of that. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. You going to shorter coming up Saturday? Tell us a little bit. Well, let me see how I can word this without getting in trouble and getting you in trouble. I guess. Tell us how you feel about your team and some of the pros and cons of what's came out of this fall, or the goods and
uh,
bads, I guess.
we are continuing to get better each week, and I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing them progress, and on purpose, our schedule kind of gets harder and harder and harder as we go. We've played three Division I schools, four total, but three as of late, and then we finished the fall with a Division II school, and they've not backed down. They've battled every single pitch of every single one of those games. We tied West Georgia through seven. We were tied with Kennesaw in the bottom of the seventh. Um, then Jack State on Thursday, a good Jack State team on Thursday. They were up 4-1 on us through 7 innings. If we were playing a normal regulation game, they'd beat us 4-1 through seven. And that's something I was kind of proud to see when we got to Jack State. All the girls on our team probably know about Jack State. They know about Kennesaw State, and they didn't back down from anybody. Jacksonville State's got a really good program. Coach Julie does a good job over there. So we knew it was gonna be a tough one for us, and it was. And we said we had some opportunities that we didn't take advantage of, but that's learning moments, and I think they're learning from those things as we go through the fall. So been very pleased up to this point.
With the
Sorry
fall,
about the sorry about the noise coming from my end.
That's all right.
that's fine. Coming to the end here on this fall and everything, will you give out like team awards or anything like that?
No, we don't have any type of team awards as we move forward, because these are like you guys know, these are a lot of scrimmages, a lot of just see where we're at and kind of test the waters for a lot of them. And the best thing about the fall is getting the freshmen to become almost sophomores, in a sense of getting an entire season under their belt before we get into the spring. And kind of see where they're at, fix some things, let them see the speed of the game and see how it is a little bit different, and just play full speed without being nervous. Get those nerves out in the fall, and that way when we get in the spring, they can go full speed, not worry about anything.
Randy, Coach Clark is really excited about this coming spring with his team that he's got and everything they've done so far this fall.
I should be. Coach, if I read right, and I know these are scrimmages, but 14-5-1.
Mhm.
Um, and you've played some of the Division Ones very well. Seems like maybe they have a little more depth than you do at this point. In late innings, they kind of get to you, but that's be expected because they've got 4 years worth of classes built up on your 2 years worth of classes.
Yeah, so the way we've played all the Division Ones, we play them a straight up seven. And then we continue to play the last three innings. We get everybody on our roster some reps at some point in time in those last three innings, and as they should when you've got a senior versus somebody that's 17, 18 years old, they should pull away late. But when we play everybody, all three of the Division Ones that we've played as of late, we've either been really close with or tied with at the end of seven innings. So been pretty pleased with that. But they do pull away in those eighth, ninth, and tenth innings. They like you said, they're a little deeper there when they start making some moves compared to when we're making some moves, and they should be.
Coach, it seems like uh, some of your bats are really mature for their age in softball, if that makes sense to you. They're really patient. Um, don't seem like your girls are wasting a lot of bats, if there's a right way to put it.
As of later, yeah, we've done some things at practice, and not necessarily changed a whole lot, but just kind of how they're looking at the game. They're maturing offensively, and that's what I've been the most proud of. Since the last time we talked, we played Enterprise. Enterprise got a couple of good arms they threw at us, and we didn't shy away from those. We hit the ball all over the field both games there. They've got a good team, good program. We hit it pretty well that day and hit it hard at them. And so they're starting to mature, and some of them are catching up to the speed of the game. And there's not a lot of that. We've got some really good bats that came in already, naturally good bats, really good bats that you don't have to change a lot about them. You just gotta get them to that competition level of saying, hey, we're facing arms that are going to be throwing it hard and spinning the ball and moving it. So before you might have just seen a picture. If they were throwing hard, it might have been flat, or if they were spinning it, it probably wasn't very hard. So you kind of get a combination, and they're starting to see that every day you're going to play some competitive arms that are going to be able to spin it and throw it with velocity. So for them seeing that right now and starting to get the hang of everything, and the biggest thing I've been preaching over the last probably week and a half offensively is just relax. Your swing's good enough. You just got to relax and just do what you know what to do. Just be you. And they've started doing that and kind of breaking out of some slumps that some of them might have been in, and just playing the game that they've been playing since they were 8 years old. It's just a little faster now.
You know, I love Pete Rose, and he was one of my favorite players. And he said, "There's only four things you do when you're in a slump: you step up in the plate or in the box, or you go back in the box. You change the weight of your bat lighter, or you get the bat heavy." And his point was, your swing got you there, and
Mhm.
that's what you've got to teach these girls in a way too. They've
Yeah.
got to learn to trust their swing.
Yeah, they've got a their first instinct is, oh my gosh, something's wrong with my swing, but it's not. Everybody has those swings. That's what we're trying to tell them. Like, your swing's okay. You just got to be on time. You got to be on plane with the pitches that you're getting thrown. That's the biggest thing that you see, especially a freshman going into that fall is the timing, the being able to be on plane with the pitches that these pitchers are throwing now that are a little better than what you're used to seeing. But they're definitely improving week by week offensively. And then when we get to the spring, we'll have a couple more bats that we've missed out on, maybe two, three, maybe possibly even four bats we've missed out on here in the fall that'll be coming back with us.
Get one of our guests healthy too.
That's right.
I'm sure her bat is very missed in that lineup right now. As much power as you talked about she had.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she's definitely a middle of the order hitter. Missing that, but it's been really good because others are getting shots at certain situations and having to step up, and they've done so. So that's good to be able to get the reps and the experience that they're getting right now.
Before I go back to Howie, let's talk about behind the plate. I know that was a little bit of a mission this summer too, or this fall, is to get more comfortable with maybe calling some pitches here and there. How was your success behind the plate as far as calling the games?
I feel very confident in our catchers being able to call because right now they're working with the pitchers every day. Now we do have the coach comm that goes in the dugout, and if I want a certain pitch or if we see something in a batter, sometimes Coach Hart may change what they've got called, but I feel very confident in it, and they're starting to get confident in it. And the biggest thing is the pitchers are confident in what their catchers are throwing, and if they've hardly ever shake any of those off, any of the pitch calls off. Usually they're going with what the catcher's called because it's the same thing they would have thrown in that situation. So they're learning each other. That's been a big deal and what we wanted to accomplish this fall, and I think we've done that.
That was probably hard last year. Your first year, just I mean, you everything was on double time last year. Don't get your first freshman class, having them there, then getting in another one, and then you had to put a team together pretty rapidly. Now you've got a year behind your belt. Oh, does it get easier then, or do the pitchers know the catchers a little better then?
Well, a lot of our pitchers right now we've got two sophomore pitchers. The other six are freshmen. But them coming in together, being on the same page with everything, and being um, good enough to compete every day, that always helps. Just being competitive and wanting to get better every day, and working with those catchers, the pitchers working with those catchers every day, it's helped in a lot of ways.
Coach, before I go back to Howie, I did notice that Tyler Van clinched his region, so he didn't invite you back up to call plays at any time, did he?
Nope, that's what I told you. I said if I'll stay out of that press box, they'll win the region. But and that it just so happened.
That is, I believe, his third region in a row, or fourth region in a row.
Uh, Probably fourth. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably fourth. And there was some big region titles up that way. Plainview and Geraldine also getting theirs, and I worked with Michael Davis for a little bit, and I'm an alumni of Plainview, so it was a good week of high school football. If for me as a follower of high school football, because always glad when Plainview can get that region win, and Michael Davis can do good things at Geraldine, and then Van at Scottsboro. All three of those clinching that region title this week was pretty cool.
and to throw Fort Payne into 6A clinched their region title, I
Yeah,
believe. So
yeah.
there, I have said, and we don't want to turn this into a football show, as you're, of course, an ex-football coach in that county. Great football in DeKalb County, Jackson County.
No doubt, no doubt.
Howie, take me away so I can watch this replay of the Tennessee game. I'm still hung up on that we actually scored 56. So
Coach, as the season goes along and everything this spring, did you when I'm assuming you're the third base coach?
No, I don't. I would actually prefer to say we've actually got it now. The rules approved to where you can do one way communication from the dugout. So I can actually sit in the dugout with they've got watches on that kind of like Apple watches. They're one way communication, a push of a button and it pops up a message up on there. So I can run a lot of that stuff from the dugout, and that's what the plan is in the spring. Preferred if I can run the offense, run the base running stuff. Coach Russo is still going to handle the hitting stuff, but if I can run the base running stuff as well as the defensive side of things from the dugout, that's what I prefer to do because when I'm in there, I feel I feel like it's better when they're coming off the field. um, if they didn't hit the ball good, I can tell them what I saw from the dugout and kind of coach them up on the spot, because once the inning's over, there's 6 or 7 batters. I've probably either forgot what they did in there at bat, or they've forgot to come ask me or say anything to me, or any type of adjustment that I may have seen. I did that at times last year. Ended up going back to coaching first, but I feel comfortable doing that, and I trust the Coach Russo at third and Coach Delaney's over at first right now, and I think they're going to do. I know they're going to do a good job, so I don't have to really do that. I can really sit there and make adjustments from the at bats, and especially on defense, being able to sit there and run the defense from where I'm sitting at.
Coach didn't mention that somebody that had a bad at bat would go to the end of the dugout and try to hide from him either, too.
Yeah, well, see, where I sit on our field, at our field, you can't get all the way the other end without walking right past our entrance. So, I usually I catch them right there at the door. And another thing that I like from being right there is if I want to pinch hit or if I want to pinch run, I'm not having to yell it across the field. I'm already there with them. I can grab them from the dugout and say, "Hey, come here, be ready." So that part's really nice as well. Instead of having to yell from the field and get somebody up and get them ready.
Have you ever been in a game and thought, hey, this slap hitter here, let me just tell her to swing for the fences and see what she does? Have you ever kind of thought about doing that, just see what their reaction would be?
Well, I told one of our base runners one time this was when I was coaching first, and it was in a fall game. I asked one of the base runners one time that she's not a very good runner. I said, "You think you can steal on her?" Her eyes her eyes got real big. I said, "I'm joking. Please don't. Please don't." I said they'll catch it and then check and then run halfway down the line and tag you. So just don't do it. So no, I we do have a slapper that can hit it out. So that's pretty neat to see. And she'll every now and then certain scenarios that uh we keep to ourselves, she'll slap, and certain times she'll stick her foot in the ground and swing it.
Nice.
I just
So
wonder if, occasionally you're like, especially we all know that there's always a certain people on the teams that you can kind of joke around with and they won't take you serious enough, and then you tell them, hey, swing for the fences, and see their reaction by like, no, I'm not doing that.
if you've ever coached girls, you know they're going to swing. I mean, if you tell them that's what you want, and they think, hey, even if he's joking or not, they're swinging, because then they can go back and say, hey, you told me to. So they'll do it. So you got to be careful what you say. You got to be careful what you tell them to do, because they'll do it.
I'm really surprised that you let Coach Hart get a hold of some of the electronic stuff to send some stuff in.
It's one button, so you can't really mess it up. It's one button. He hadn't thrown it yet, so we're good. It's been good. So
There's reasons I chose Gadsden in this split with how he feel. There's
yeah,
reasons, and Coach Hart may be one of the reasons. And just
yeah,
for I can get it, we will get at least 2 stories before the year is over with.
yeah,
Coach
probably
Coach
so.
Hart is a very emotional person when it comes to sports.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had a good time. We went up to Franklin, Tennessee this past weekend and did some recruiting, and actually watched 2 Canadian teams play, and they were pretty good. And so there's some very interesting stories from those from Canadians meeting Coach Hart. I don't know if you can imagine, but it was
What language did they speak? Because I
oh
know I know
they
Coach Hart's English is not good enough for them to understand.
well they looked at first and was like, yeah, we're definitely in the South, when they so no, it was more or less the parents. They were a good time. They were funny. They were a good time. So
So there's 2 Canadian teams playing in Franklin, Tennessee.
correct. Yeah. So it was just a tournament that these guys had put on, and they had a couple Canadian teams. A team from Iowa came down. A couple of really good Tennessee teams were in it, and it was really good competition. It was a pretty neat deal.
So is it like a travel ball or was it a high school? What was, elaborate a little bit. I'm kind of
Yeah,
mind
it's
blown
travel
with it being,
ball. It,
I'm just flabbergasted that Canadian teams
So
are in
so right
ten
now
states.
everybody but Georgia, even the Alabama kids are playing travel ball. And so I was kind of curious about the Canadians because I wanted to know how and when they get on their field. They don't play school ball up there, so they play club, which is pretty much like city rec ball, and they play it from August or from I'm sorry from May until August. So they got 3 months of that, and then once that's over, they pack up and take about 2 to 3 weeks and come to the southern United States, and we'll play travel ball down here until close to Thanksgiving. Then they'll go back home and wait until May and just do their personal training and all that stuff and wait until May and play again. So if you're going to catch a Canadian team, it's going to be probably in the early parts of the fall.
And coach, I know in baseball, um, the Canadian baseball has kind of exploded. Is it the same in softball and the interest?
Yeah, it definitely has. These two teams, they were coached by a guy that coaches on the uh, Canadian national team. So they're really talented, really bought in, really disciplined players, and it was pretty interesting and it was fun to watch them and even the team from Iowa. You never see somebody down here that's from the Midwest like that, but every now and then you'll catch a team.
I'm sure that the Canadians was making fun of everybody there by wearing the hoodies and all that because it's probably feels like summer to them at this
Yeah,
point.
so
And
yeah, definitely because it was cold. I mean, it got cold up there this weekend, and we all had hoodies on, and they're out there in t-shirts. And I asked them, I said, "So what's the temperature like up there right now?" And they said 14, but I thought they were talking about Fahrenheit. So I was like, "Man, that's cold." And they said, "No, that's kind of warm." And then I figured out they're not talking about they don't do the Fahrenheit deal. They're. I said, "What is that in English?" So they told me it was about 62 degrees. So yeah,
Mm.
well,
but yeah,
They
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 were.
should have been with me Friday night then, because it wasn't 62 in that press box.
No, I bet.
hey, coach, that's something you don't miss is those cold Friday nights, is it?
No, no, no.
Can we get one more no out of you?
Yeah, well, I to be honest with you, I really never got that cold. I don't know. I probably moved around too much on the sideline to get cold, but
I I
I never
I
really
I
got
can
that cold.
I can comment why I never got that cold, but let's all stay friends because coach might have been just a little high strung on game day too.
Yeah, a little bit sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
The
Well,
greatest conversations of my life was listening to you and Van on the sideline and only hearing one side of the conversation because I could pretty much figure out what was going on the other side.
Yeah, and it depended on which side you were listening to because it could have
Got
got
color
interesting.
for matter
Oh
which
yeah,
side you're on with the color too. So
yeah.
so coach, you mentioned you got 3 or 4 bats that's going to be joining you come this spring. Are they girls that are actually on the squad now that are injured, or are they some girls that is going to be coming in, or can you even speak on that?
Yeah, no, they're two of them are they're all four already on our roster.
Okay.
One's playing volleyball. Really good player out of Pleasant Valley. Lily Henry, she can play a little bit of outfield, a little bit of infield. She can swing it pretty well. Then we got Abby Payne that we've talked about already, and then Caitlin St. Clair. She actually played the first fall doubleheader with us, and then went over and she's playing basketball. So we'll get her back before probably about a week before conference if I looked at their conference schedule right. In the conference tournament deal. That we'll probably get her back a week before conference. And then Lauren Farmer also suffered an ACL last year. She can swing it pretty well. This is, um, she's as hard of a worker as anybody we have. So I have no doubt she's going to work her tail off and try to get back to where she's healthy enough to play.
You got those 2 sophomore pitchers and then 6 freshmen, I think is what you said. Are
Yeah.
those sophomore girls kind of taking those freshmen underneath their wings and helping them out?
So the sophomores have been pretty good for us for our team. You got Sydney Simpson, who she actually sat out last year. She was a non-participant through the spring. She's a really hard thrower. She had a really good fall last fall, then she had a just a phantom injury in November that you couldn't have really imagined happening. So she was a non-participant last spring. Then you got Aubrey Kirst, who she had to carry the big load last year. Her and Carly Crocker, they had to carry the load last year for as far as pitching goes. And Aubrey's done really well. We told her at the end of last year her role would change a little bit, and go to more of a relief role, and she's done really well. For a reliever to have an ERA less than 2, that means you're throwing pretty good because you're not in there very long. So you give a run up, it spikes that ERA way up. So, she's done really well this fall.
So with everything going on and all that, this fall is coming to the end. You got a little bit of time in between. Do you, can y'all actually do anything as a team organization as far as practice wise, or will you just let them do it individually?
Well, up until November 15th, we get full practices, full anything. And after November 15th, it goes down to a certain amount of contact hours per week. So at that point, it's more or less conditioning, lifting, being in shape for when we come back after Christmas break.
And when will your first official practice be when you come back
I want to say it's around the 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere in there.
in January?
Yes.
Okay.
And we play the 31st. So you get about 2.5, 3 weeks practice, full
So
practice.
they're only going to have about what, a month and a half off before you get ready to start up again.
Yeah, yeah, it's not going to be very long. They get a long Thanksgiving break to get the entire week, and then they get a longer Christmas break than they do in high school, so they're going to enjoy that. And but when they get back, it's full speed because we don't have very long till we start playing games that matter.
Absolutely. And of course, I know y'all hit it once, if not twice, during the fall as far as at the new place. But how's it going to feel when you actually get a legit first home game there at the new stadium?
I'll tell you, just off of the 6 games we've played at home already, the 3 doubleheaders it's 100 times better. I'm not having to worry about number one, just selfishly, I'm not having to worry about dragging and marking the field and making sure all that stuff's ready and making sure we got enough quick dry out there if it rains and just having that turf's huge. And then being somewhere where all your equipment's at and being stored and not having to carry it all around campus and change practice places and practice times just because you were having to use somebody else's field. That's been a huge difference this year.
And I know you're looking forward to that first home game, and especially that first night game. Get those lights on, LED lights on, and get everybody underneath there and
Yeah, I
watch.
think we're I think we're going to wait till a little bit warmer before we have the night games. But we have a home game pretty early. I want to say it was like February 4th. We're right out of the gate. We're playing at home pretty early.
That's good. And is that schedule out already?
It is. Well, most of it is on our website. All of our home games are on the website. So I put in all the home games, and then everybody else will put in their home games as well. So the home games they're already on the website.
That's good. Awesome. We can look on that, come down and watch y'all play a game or two at least.
For sure.
We doing this year.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. Randy, I'll let you ask a few questions, and if you ain't got much more, then we'll let Coach Clark get out of here.
I don't have a whole lot tonight, and I do want to ask one thing about the facilities. I know you're limited in hours. Same thing with college, with football, baseball, any sport. Certain down periods you're limited with. Now, can a player use the facility and it not count towards their hours as far as, hey, I just want to go hit some?
Yeah, I
And,
just I just can't work with them, so they can use whatever facility they want to and anywhere, and they could go get their bat and take it and go hit it home if they want to. I can't work with them over a certain amount of hours once we get to November 15th.
right. And also in that period, I think part of the reason is you're heading it to finals that, what, 2 week period right after that. So will there be a large academic push too?
Yeah, for sure. Like after actually tomorrow we're going to start having we've already have we already have study hall, mandatory study hall for 2 hours a week for anybody that don't have a C, and anybody that does have a C or lower, which we don't have much of that. They're going to 4 hours a week starting this week. So, that's something very important, especially in the fall, because in the spring it's not fun to be playing catch up while you're in the regular season. So, we're in pretty good shape with our GPA, team GPA, and um, that's a big push right here. Is for academics right here at the very end of this semester.
I would have been in 4 hours of study hall my whole college career. That's all I'm
Oh
going to
yeah,
say. Whole
yeah.
career.
Is the
Coach, go ahead, Howie.
it's just one of my stupid questions, but is the team GPA higher or lower than your team ERA?
Ooh, that's,
I hope the GPA is higher than the ERA.
I hope so
I hope
too.
I hope
Especially
so
if you're on the pop scale.
because our ERA is not too bad right now. So I'm hoping our GPA is higher than that. Yes. I
Coach,
don't.
you know that I do a lot of work with young people that are being recruited, and a lot of kids come on here that's being recruited for football or basketball or softball or baseball. At what point do you pull their grades? Is it very early on, or do you? I mean, you kind of got to know when you get involved with a kid what
Well,
their
it's
academic standards are.
yeah. Well, as far as the high school goes, you just gotta kind of play the trust game. We don't get their we don't see their transcripts until they're on campus. So you kind of got to trust that, and go with that. You can most of the time they're going to be honest with you because they want you to know kind of what you're dealing with before they get here. They're not going to say I've got a 4.0 and have all D's usually. So most of the time you kind of know what you're dealing with before, so you can kind of go ahead and I always tell them like we just want to know so we can be prepared to get accommodations or get you into certain tutoring classes and stuff like that before you ever get here. So that way we're not finding out in October that you've never passed a math class. Right. So now we're trying to pass math in college. So, that's something we try to find out before so we can have the accommodations ready for them when they get here.
It's very nice, very nice. Saw you pointing at me, Howie. I may have done that. Coach, I do. I want to ask one more question about the academics. I grew up with dyslexia, and when I got to college, is the first time I even knew what dyslexia is. Have you had to deal with maybe? And I'm not asking individual names. There's different levels of learning ability when you have any group of college students.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and it doesn't really matter. What's crazy is you can have somebody that's got a 4.0 with a 32 ACT and they still need accommodations. There's definitely different levels, and there's things that our college does a great job of to help those students in any way that they can.
And just for the record, University of Tennessee, my girlfriend wrote every comp that was ever wrote for me. So thanks for the degree. I did none of the work when it come to comp. Howie, why don't you ask a couple of questions here? And Coach, by the way, I did very much enjoy. I've brought it up twice now. The game changer app, the ability to track the team. I feel like I'm getting to get to know the girls a little bit too. There's a level of once you get to know the players, just like the ones that've been on here. And by the way, I got the biggest compliment about one of your players too after their appearance. The young lady from Alexander City.
Yeah.
That I was told she was more mature than me. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's just you got you. It's a good feeling that athletes are usually more developed at that age because of the athletics.
Oh
It's
yeah. Presley's she's very mature for her age, and she loves to talk, and she does really good at it. She could be a professional talker. So she does a good job, and she's very mature for where she's at.
yeah, I got the comment that it's hard to have guests that are more mature than you are. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I know where it came from. You know, People change their names and leave comments. Wasn't you, Howie? But you've done it. Go ahead, Howie.
You know, Coach Clark didn't disagree with that either. He just like, yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with it. We just ain't got to put it all over the internet.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's very mature. She's probably a little more mature than I am. So, you know,
Yeah. There's something you just write off.
yeah,
I'm gonna
right,
lose that battle. I'm gonna
right,
lose it. I'm gonna lose the maturity level with Presley every time.
yeah,
Coach, you didn't realize Randy had a 4.0 in college too, but it was a 1.0 in 4 different classes.
yeah. It
Yeah.
counts.
Coach,
Not
greatest
in
line ever.
athletics, not in
Greatest
athletics,
line,
but I guess it counts.
greatest line ever from my dad. I was finally graduating after 6.5 years, and he said, "Son, I'm really proud of you." He said, "The people you started with are doctors and lawyers, but you've got a bachelor's degree." So
Hey, hey, as long as you got that piece of paper, that's what matters.
uh, he might have understood. That's probably all he knew. He didn't have one, but he knew the guy I started with was a doctor at that point. So I give him credit for that.
Yeah,
Coach, we really appreciate all these shows that you do with us, and you it seem like you're enjoying them as well, and we appreciate your time, and hopefully this spring when I don't know why I say it's spring, it's actually winter time, but y'all consider it the spring season, but hopefully we get some more of the girls on here and get to know them a little bit better, and it's always great to get to know and get some behind the scenes outlooks as far as things that happen, especially on some of these road trips. And I know this fall you took a lot of road trips, and that was, I guess, by design.
yeah. It's by design. I want them to be comfortable being uncomfortable. There was a couple times that on purpose we showed up late. Not late, but we showed up in enough time for them to stretch, throw, and play. And I want them to do that because you never know. We could get in a situation where we get in traffic on the way and we just got to get off the bus. We got to stretch, we throw, take a little bit of defense, and we're playing. So, they handled it really well. And there was times that we got there 2.5 hours before the game because I wanted them to see the differences in getting somewhere early, and sitting around and how you handle that because that is, to me, that's tougher when you sit there and you gotta plan out every single move that you make. That's tougher in my opinion than jumping off the bus, stretching, doing your agilities, going to the cage, taking about 10, 15 cuts, and then playing. But we usually try to find a happy medium there and be at the facility around 2 hours before a game.
You said November, I think 15th is the last time you can actually do something with the girls. Your last game is this coming Saturday. Will you continue to practice the girls during that time, or what will happen?
So then we break off and we go to individual stuff. We work by position after this Saturday. There won't be a lot of team stuff. We'll probably do one team practice a week, but for the next 2 weeks. But after Saturday, it's going to be a lot of individual stuff, a lot of one-on-one stuff, two-on-one stuff, where um, they get kind of undivided attention because when you got practice and you got 30 of them out there, you're watching a lot of things at one time. And so we try to get it to where it's one-on-one, a lot of individual work and whatever that they need it in.
Hey, Coach, how many times do you want them throwing a week during the
Uh,
off period?
we're gonna well, it's different. We're gonna throw 5 days, but we're gonna long toss 3 of them
Okay.
and then get their arms going, but they got to rehab with it. If they're not rehabbing with it, then they're doing more damage than they're doing good at that point. So, just the proper stretch, pre-throw, and then the post-throw rehab stuff that we do as well with the bands and um, some of the technology programs that we have here for them to use. Um, just doing those things is going to help. And if you're not doing them the right way, you could be wasting a lot of time and doing more bad than good.
You mentioned all your coaches and all that. Do you actually have a team trainer that is with you most of the time?
We've got a school trainer, which we're very blessed that we do because a lot of places don't have that. We've got one. She's here every day. She takes care of our athletes, but she covers all seven sports. So she's always at our home games. The only time she would not be just sitting in our dugout is if we're playing the same time baseball is. She'll be back and forth, or if we're playing the same time men's or women's basketball is, she'll be back and forth. But yeah, we always have we do have that trainer at all home events.
And if you're a young person that want to be in a sports related field, athletic training is one of the widest open fields right now. I mean, I know high schools that's been looking 3 and 4 years trying to find a full time trainer and still haven't found them.
No doubt, no doubt, and it's fun. You get to still be around sports and help the athletes return to play. So
Yep.
You're saying she. Does she have a name or?
yeah, Hannah. Hannah is our trainer. She does a really good job. Trainers, they get the best end of the deal when they get them back on the field. They get the worst end of the deal when they take them out. 'Cause they got to hear from whining coaches when they take them out, and then they get the best end of the deal when they get to see that athlete return to play. So I've always really appreciated anybody that works with athletes and get them healthy and get them back on the field as quickly as possible. But there, I've seen some trainers take some heat sometimes over taking the kid out, or just doing their job. And but we're glad that they do it, because you know we're not smart enough to do what they have to do sometimes. So
You may want to hire my daughter down the road because the football team won't go to the trainer. They go Annalise student training with the football team. They go to her to get tape because they know she won't take them out no matter what.
yep.
She's
Oh
my
yeah.
daughter.
Oh yeah.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. We're going to let you get out of here. Saw that beautiful daughter of yours before we went live, and uh, I know that will you be able to take them trick or treating Friday night
Oh
before y'all
yeah.
take this? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do the whole trick or treating deal in the cold. So this year it'll be cold on Halloween. Next year it'll be hot, and we'll be wearing shorts and t-shirts. So, but yeah, we're gonna go out Friday night and let them trick or treat and do all the fun stuff. And they already came up here. We had a little trunk or treat deal here, candy with the Cardinals up here on campus, and they came up here and they had a good time. Except when they saw the big blow up dinosaur, they did not like that. So they were afraid it was afraid it was going to get them, I think. So, but we're gonna go Friday night, go trick or treating, and take them around and see family and friends, and so
Will the whole family be dressed up as Halloween?
no, nope, nope. I'll be there, but I'm not. I don't. Mm-mm.
Hey, Coach, I put my headset on from the radio station and a Matt Ryan jersey every year. So I go as Matt Ryan. So
There you go.
that's just a hint. There's an
That's
easy costume.
well. I think I'm going to go as a softball coach, because
I think that would be good.
yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing.
Speaking of trainers, I think Tyler Van's trainer is named Hannah too,
Oh
because
really?
she has to correct his attitude sometimes.
Oh, his
Because
trainer at home, no doubt.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, his trainer at home is named Hannah.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
on
She.
here when he got a personal foul. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
when Coach Clark was a little bitty Coach Clark, what was your favorite Halloween costume that you went as?
I really don't. I really don't remember. I probably just dress up as a baseball player most of the time. When I was younger, I got into all the mask and crazy stuff, but probably I don't know. 10 years old, I just thought it'd be cool to be Chipper Jones every time, so that's what I did. Chipper Jones, then it turned to Albert Pujols, and so it was always a baseball player.
I've been Matt Ryan since I was skinny.
Yeah.
So, so what was your favorite candy that you always hoped that you would get?
Still to this day is Smarties. I could eat
Mm.
I could eat a gallon of Smarties. I don't know why, but I love them. I could eat them all the time. If one of the girls bring them in the dugout, that's probably a really big weakness of mine. I will eat Smarties.
So if your kids get some Smarties Friday night, are you going to try to sneak one or two out?
Well, I've not had any sweets since July, so I'm trying my best not to. When they were up here at the trunk or treat, Ava did get some Smarties, and it was tough. But I've not looked in the bowl. I've not looked in the bowl since then, so I'm trying to stay strong. But not having sugar since July, I've built up a little bit of a tolerance right now. So I don't know if I'm too tired one night and I just walk by there, I may grab one of those out.
It'd be like 4 Red Bulls having one Smartie.
No doubt.
Yeah, Coach Clark will be all over the field come Saturday at Shorter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So before we let you go, tell everybody you're at Shorter Saturday. What time?
12 o'clock. 12
Central Time.
o'clock. So yes, 12 o'clock Central Time.
And it's at Shorter College.
Yep. It's I can't remember exactly where it's at on campus, but we went there last year. Got a pretty nice field. They're gonna be a pretty competitive team. If we do like we're supposed to, it's gonna be two good games, and um, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how we close the fall out. I'm looking forward to see how we do after a 4 day break. Going into practice these next 4 days before we do play. I'm looking forward to see how they respond to playing another big school after losing on Thursday and then taking 4 days off. I want to see how they come back and they respond Tuesday through Friday going into the Saturday matchup with Shorter, because that's not going to be a cakewalk either. You go anywhere with a 4 year school, they got girls that are 21, 22, 23 years old on their team, and um, your some of yours have only been driving for a year and a half, 2 years. So, uh, you're it's always good to see ours compete with those though. I mean, that's really something that I've enjoyed, and the cool thing for us through this fall is seeing us go to play a bigger school, playing the D2, playing the D1, and then turning right back around and playing a junior college. It takes a lot to rattle a team that's played that level of competition, seen that level of speed. Just like Enterprise has got a good team. They went up 4-1 on us. And then we just kind of put our foot down. And then I think the final score might have been, I don't 10, 11, 12 to 4, somewhere in there. I'm not sure, but played really well from that point forward. And, if you don't play higher competition, that probably rattles you a little bit to get behind. But they're learning to, stay the course and do your job and don't worry about anything else. And they've done a really good job with that so far. So I'm looking forward to see Shorter, see what they've got this year. And, we split with them last year. So looking forward to see what they have and seeing how we compete with them.
And before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give out?
Well, we've already talked about family and my favorite local football teams, but our administration here, now Coach Lewis is our athletic director. Dr. Lewis, I should say, is our athletic director here. He's the head baseball coach. He does a good job supporting all of the programs here, and President Smith here, he does a phenomenal job as well. He's just getting his foot in the door, and it's already been pretty good for athletics, and just them allowing us to do what we do and supporting us is huge. You go to some schools and you don't have that support from athletic director or that support from the president. Just for them to be doing what they're doing, we couldn't do what we do without them. So always thankful for them.
Great job. Randy, you have anything before we let Coach Clark get going?
I'm gonna let him go get some time with Ava.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good deal.
Sure.
Good deal. Awesome. So for Randy Cunningham, I'm the Howard Cheney, and of course, this is the Gadsden State softball show with Coach Ryan Clark. Go out and support the team Saturday at Shorter at 12 o'clock, and it's a doubleheader. Is that correct, Coach?
Yes. Yep.
Doubleheader. The last one for this fall, and they'll have, like he said a little bit earlier, about a 2.5 month break, and then, Coach, that time will fly by, and then you'll be out there playing the games for real.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's exactly right at 3 months till we play. About 2 months till we practice again, full speed after we're finished practicing. So it's not a very long break. January 31st is going to get here fast.
Absolutely. So go out and support the team this coming Saturday at Shorter. Uh, 12 o'clock's first pitch and a doubleheader. So go out to Rome over there and watch Gadsden State play, and then get you something good to eat, and then come on back home.
That's
So
right.
so
Well,
for
that's what we're going to do too.
yeah, absolutely. So for Randy, I'm the Howard Channing along with Coach Clark. So good night, everybody.